The volume is too low.
Antene tato nyenge tsomala nyela tsandu shiwa de nyonde tere namba solo shiwa de kare isena drama niji tsachi ki nolo ne ane drama jewa ne chiji pagi tebe ngote te i ngele ya shugwe chi kare isena namba so kalong chi yak che che namba tato ne nyenge inanda nganzo chongkang nal ya nyenge inanda na shi nge ina nganzo kange kare che de shugwe isena drama singin de nganzo ge 대화 제야인들의 이치 제야인들의 단어 제야인들의 상차야인들의 대화 제야인들의 증거 도에 있는데 다른 페르세나 소소 조 비상지 지사라 롱에 지이나 단틀레 더발은 네 가능성이 요 말에 근데 내가 아주 이용지 차외의 미신선 네가 넣어라 유산대시나 그만 잡아 얘네 야 소소라 나차 강에 녀다 간데지 좀 봐이나야 아 소wan 대사 안에 상제 정치 세반에 마송 제체네다 안에 하다 미다 하마이 수지에나다 지수 드라마게 강을야 트레기 소와다사다 안에 레와체선데 차 매바 이사는 가서 이제서 강에 든지셔나 되긴 지파리 쉬어야 체도 안에 들은 가서 드라마데 얘기 있어 안에 그런 지로 지세 이제
Greetings to all of you who are attending this teaching in person and those who are listening via online. Can you hear me? So greetings to all of you. So first of all, let me give a small short teaching on how to set proper motivation. Whether somebody is listening to this teaching, attending this by virtue of faith, or have trust in Tara, or have some attention, some have some interest in it, or goes to base application, or is a devotee of Tara, or normally has the habit of saying eulogy or praise in praise of Tara, or normally who does practice of incant chanting her mantra and so on, whatsoever it may be, let us all set our motivation that ultimately we are doing this for the sake of attaining our ultimate goal, that is Buddhahood. So and if that and just to speak of a lore, or just for practical reasons, our motivation should be, for example, in this very troubled world today, when we are living, when we encounter a lot of problems, such as problems from thieves and thugs and sicknesses, ailments, and ailment, environmental problems, and so on and so forth. There are innumerable numbers of practical problems and troubles that we go through in our lives, whatsoever it may be. We must know and be convinced that beginning from the top, Buddhas to the Bodhisattvas and the gods and demigods and human beings and so on, whoever they may be, there is no object of devotion comparable to Tara, whose virtuous activity or whose grace or boon is the swiftest and is most effective. For knowing this, we must set our motivation and thinking that me who is also giving teaching is also have all these in my mind as the motivation why I'm teaching on this, and all of those who are listening and attending to my teaching here must also set the proper motivation as such, knowing that there is no Buddha or an enlightened being comparable to Tara, goddess Tara, who is the most impactful and swiftest and bestowal of the grace or boon. So,
안에 드린 게 있어야 돼. 안에 드라마 이제 자체 넣어놓네. 드라마 제바티 드라마 제바티 때문에 넣어라. 상사 드린 지바 첨부 이제 바원 넘번 정마 치치시에는 탄이 된제 자와 통체 말이 세마세티 이게 된다 가르르세나 안에 상체로스 안에 소라 상사기 있으나 드라마 이제 자체 넣어놓네. 드라마 제바티라 상사기 제나 드라마 제바티 세라 가르르세나 안에 드라마 디탄 정마스 근데 야 근데 니마 비비게 세라 가르소요레세나 안에 드라마 온주 때마스 근데 세금나 좀 먼저 니요 된다 하지래 아주 민자고 진바 차잖아 레호 치쇼를 약간 렘비 까라 민지다 레호 파쇼를 약간 렘비 따라 민지 따바나시게 미먼저 마도 된다 지래 근데 제가 드라마 되게 차례 든다 마소나 가는 농구 요레세나 드라마 되게 시에네 투리 세야게 자치 가르서 거래 중앙에 동바라 때네 이틴디 토라 생계다 롬보체다 규지라 소베 신지바 첨부 제레 로와네 용스 잡아셔기 요래라 내가 나시게 디게 파워 디 가라 오시이나라 내가 나시게 녀모비 디이나라 쳐다 디이나라 폼비 디이나라 디데서 탐체레 로와나 용스 잡아셔기 요래 제나 드라마 되게 자타도 넘번 로버 간데 지요레세나 아니 셰레 치시메도 빼만나시 이지시 따라 되바 임발라 넘바테 초이게 넘바 템베게 드라마 치레 초이 넘바 템바테 가리체데 템바레세나 예 모발라 소벤 로베 다테소 아니 치다가 다이는다 예 모베 다이는다 품비 다이는다 다가 나지 셰다 롬보체도 생게라 소빈지 파이는다 남게 다시가 나차라 소빈지 파이는다 대당 탕체 얘네 세바 세대 가랑한지 센차장에 미세와 나지 세바 때말에 얘네 대서 장바 세바 로 세바 나지 대서 강간 장바 생기게 로마치래 어 된다베게 로마텔라 šan사기
today my teaching will be on the Thara, 21 Thara phrases, beginning from 8 to 14, and let me now explain about the 8th Thara. As per the Thara, 21 Thara's praises text, it has this: homage to you, Thara, the great fearful one, whose letter Ture destroys the mighty demons completely, who with a wrathful expression on your waterborne face slay all enemies without any exception. So to explain this, now I go for homage to whom? The 8th Thara, whose name is known by the savior is who destroys the host of Maras. But according to Pandita Surya Gupta, her name is also the one the Lord, the Thara, the Lord of the destroyer. So whatever it may be, that it means same thing. Just as an officer, suppose they're working in two different offices, he or she may have two rankings, and he will be known by both rankings, but basically it is the same person. Similarly, whatever name she may be called upon by these two, but she is the same person. She's the same person. Now, next question is, if someone wonders what kind of boon or virtuous activities she performs, is this by virtue of her utterance of the mantra Ture from her mouth. By virtue of utterance of that, by virtue of shouting out Ture, she has the ability to free us from the fears, external fears, such as the fear of the lion, fear of the elephant, fear of snakes and poisonous snakes, and so on and so forth. And she has the ability to free us all from such fears, as well as she also is the heroic one who has such capability to remove us from inner fears, such as that is the fear of the Lord of demons of the Lord. It's almost like the Cupid, and also from the inner fears, such as the demon of delusion, demon of the Lord of Death, demon of the Son of God, son of God, demon of concentration, and so on. So that means she has the ability to free us or get rid of us all from all of these fears, be they inner or outer fears as listed above. Now, the next question is, if someone wonders what kind of features she has, the physical or otherwise, she has a peaceful feature. She has a reddish color face, and from like a red lotus, extremely beautiful, but she oozes or expresses a slight tinge of wrath or anger, slight tinge of wrath in her physical feature. So what does actually these convey, or these have the ability to perform the activities, is, if one wonders, it is that these features shows that she has the ability to remove destroy all the evil impacts of the host of devils, and all other hindrances, be that inner or outer, as was listed earlier, such as the devil of the delusion, death, and Lord of son of Lord of God, or that of concentration, and so on. All that were explained, and she has the ability to slay those. So slay those here literally should not be understood in terms of killing, but slay here should be understood in terms of how she has the ability to destroy them, nullify them, and make them impactless. Now,
ringa nola turisya ge tenda de leja ge kere kisi te peke to chujona de jopase na jake jati la de ra jopa la o de ane jopa karin jopa re sena ene shonju sonje suina ya kowa do ngesu le sha ina dan jipa chembo je suina shogere de jitsu jome ge sha ba te shanda da manda jopa kadi so wa ta na ya ti se dig to ta le ne as 아메리카다 이라게 예토파 나시 디세 강에 가든 쳐서 카트 조파 저기 있어야게 다데 근데 산에서 내가 바체단 지파를 셔서야 되게 안주 인디노시에 줘야게 롱모체도 생긴 지파선에 시에야 돼서 나위 개체를 단단히는 금막인 지파도 자파인 지파도 통박인 지파도 제가 칸체 안에 가리이나 때문에 지파대서로 셔바도 요 공존주 샤거를 했어야게 된다래스.
Yes. Now, the Sanskrit mantra here, Ture, the word Ture actually is a Sanskrit term, and it has the meaning which means swift in the sense throughout the 10 directions, wherever Buddhas reside, Bodhisattvas reside, and so on, throughout the 10 directions, or throughout the worlds of the cosmos of the 10 directions. She has the ability to protect us from all forms of fears, be they fear externally or internal, or be they fear of the sufferings within the samsara, or fear of getting doomed in the lower realms of existence, and so on. So whatever kinds of fear may there be, she has the ability to protect us all very swiftly on and then and there, as and when we request for her blessings and for her support. Just to give you an example, for example, in United States, in European countries, they are known for their swift action of the police forces, or the police forces reaching at the call within minutes, as swift as possible. Similarly, the blessings and the grace that she bestows on her devotees whenever she is asked for through their supplication, she reaches for their support and for their rescue then and there, immediately. But when the text talks about the external fears, like fear of elephant, fear of lion, and so on, those are fears that are external, but also are related to ancient times, all times. But whereas in today's times, when we have different kinds of fears from being attacked or by thieves and thugs and the illness and sicknesses and so on and so forth. So we go through so many troubles, we encounter so many difficulties as such in today's time, being very unique, very troubling time. Even during such times, there is no other Buddha or enlightened beings comparable to Tara. When we ask for her blessings and her energies, she is always there, then in their own time, right away, to swiftly give her blessings and protections to us. No. No. Bueno.
Tuka number jebeki doma, mali ba shu jis, shu jusena sha lo no shung ti wu tsam jete, o de lu yong se zo ba tang che la, sha ye ba gi chu ju gi sha jan ze ne, chu ju gi sha je gi koli gi tili ya ye zen chen, digi ye ze digi jite jing ka yong se zo ba kar su gu ye be, manto ba tang che ye ji sen ji nya ban ze ge yo le res, dona sha yebagi ane kinchu son tsenbegi sha jakki ane tukal kine 이거 놀러라 내도 오빠랑 홍보 요래 샤 이아빠게 초직 샤자 지울레스 근데 초직 샤자 생에데 되래 내가 가르쳐 버래 근데 전에 대화하다라 초직 샤자스 초직 샤자스에 가르 아주 아디 로스티아테솔라 샤직 샤자스 근데 저한테 샤지 세딩이 차라 라파조 투그레스 야 샤자테라 샤직 샤자스 때나 아메리카 신지 돼서 서로 마 테네레온데 라판도스레 가르니 촌솔라 라파조 투그 요레스 야 티샤자 초직 샤자스게 등이 초라솔지 제 투그레 가리는 게 촌솔 제 투그레스 라판들이 셰테라 초직 샤자스 한복이 대바듯이 제 샤가게 되지
No, no. Now the ninth Tara, as for the text, it is homage to you, Tara, whose fingers adorn your heart with gesture of sublime, precious tree, adorned with wheels striking the all directions without exception, with the totality of your own rays of light. So the ninth Taras, her name is Jipokunjoma. Jipokunjo means the Savior is who protects us from all fears. According to Acharya Surya Gupta, her name is also as known as the lady who bestows the supreme siddhis or supreme siddhis and so on. So now, as per the text, it says, "I pay homage to whom? Homage to the one in whose right hand, whose left hand performs the gesture of performs a gesture of offering to the three jewels. That means in her left hand, you will see that she's holding a blue lotus flower whose stem is held pressed under the thumb and the ring finger, and I mean, that's by, and while at the same time performing this gesture of offering to the three jewels. Now this gesture offering to the three jewels means when the two fingers, that is thumb and the ring fingers, are pressed, you see the other three fingers are raised. The index, the middle, and the little finger. These three represents the raising of these three represents the three objects of refuge, Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. All right. Then from the right hand, her right hand is in the gesture of performing, gesture of granting the supreme siddhi. Supreme siddhi. Now let me explain a little bit about what is meant by hand gesture. We call usually chakya. In the sutras, Sutrayana teaching, you always find that the emphasis is made on the purity of one's mind, purity of one's heart, how attitude of the mind or heart should be maintained pure. But however, in the Mantrayana or Tantrayana practices, there are three elements that are being stress, emphasized while performing the rituals as well. There is the incantation of mantra, the concentration by mind, and then performance of different gestures, hand gestures. Those three elements are extremely important. Hence, the left hand holding the blue petal and the three other fingers. Three fingers raised represents actually a kind of hand gestures here. Hand gesture we call it hand gestures in the form of offering to the three jewels. Whereas in her left hand, she's performing the act of bestowing the supreme siddhi, left hand raised and resting on the knee, palms up. Now, to give an example, when you raise your hands, there are different ways of raising your hands. She's raising her hands in that gesture, whereas if you see for example, instances like the U.S. president raising his hands high up, that means I'm your president. I have the power and I have the ability to, I could support you. I could give you render services for your benefit and so on. Similarly, when a divine figure like Tara is performing this gesture of granting supreme siddhi, that means she actually meant that she has the ability to grant the boon or the blessings that we ask for through performing this gesture. Now,
Roman Digi Chayapa dos Chene, Conchuso Shajichi, Digi Nolon, Medo Opalachin dos Kior, Digi Karitseoresana, Jancho Gendu to Bege, Shaya Kinchuson Shaji, Jipa Jato to Shiona, Manjing, I in the shower, he saw Sambatella Chancelos, then Roa Yans Zoba, and Jipa Yans Zoba, Ledron, Tavishin Korea Shava Shigi, Inseati, number than Sayore. Shayapa dos Chene. 초직 샤자지 디 너로라 bomba 까보지 크요레 이게 로아 영스 조베게 되네 내다 나사 안에 녀모팔아 소베게 다와 디게 영스 조바들이 아니 지발이 샤바시게 요레 제자 안에 진데 이산에 로만데긴 세르야 로만 지팍 샤마하세네 따바레스.
yes. With the left hand performing this gesture of granting the blessings through the three jewels, with raised at the level of her shoulder, holding a blue lotus flower, whose petal is held or pressed between the thumb and the ring finger. Ring finger represents that. Symbolizes that she has the ability to protect the migrators, all sentient beings, from all kinds of fears of delusions, and lead them conveniently to the path towards liberation. In this context, and then the right hand performing the gesture of bestowing the Supreme Siddhi. It is she's holding a white vase and representing that sicknesses and the obstacles and delusion and so on are gotten rid of or freed from through this. So in this context, the first Dalai Lama, the great Gendun Drupa, has said in a stanza, with her left hand holding the Utpala blue flower, and this represents how she has the ability to free all migrators from the sufferings of the existence, which is samsara, and without attachment is able to lead them to towards the path of liberation, and toward the path of the great liberation, or lead them to the city of the great liberation. Therefore, to you, he says, to you, I bow down, and may I be protected. May I be blessed by a iron, like an iron chain hooked up through the power of a virtuous activity. So.
Songa jidegi shongchi sani zomba chela tila hadu chi tingin zidu ni chi chaja so de kechenbo chagin sare. Jesa tende isana nganzu Roma nyole zongi ina Rome ge chaja tesola dono zogwa kechenbo recha. Ani jeba te ngare. Ngade nganzu ge leja ke naji jaga ke noji nganzu kanone tenga mare tene. Ngade zochewa de songa mi pen zheba isene zochewa de mi pala tene chire shas.
So just as in the cycles of the Mantrayana teachings today, as I said earlier, the three things are extremely important: incantation of mantra, the maintenance of proper samadhi or concentration, as well as performing the hand gestures properly. Those three elements are considered extremely important. And I would recommend that those of you who want to practice tantra, practice tantras or tara, you should pay special attention to the hand gestures of the specific taras, and the mantra should be read out properly. Actually, if it is possible, it should be read correctly, properly as per the original Sanskrit incantation, Sanskrit intonation. However, in Mantrayana, it is said that more than you recite the mantras purely or authentically, originally, more than that is the importance of maintaining intense faith and trust in her. So maintaining trust in maintaining intense or pure trust and faith in Tara is more important, and then being able or being able to recite the mantra or authentically or like the original Sanskrit. Now.
Enge sacha pensi degi iragi kasu ane michige doji papa nga dongu isare doji papa nga onet am benza kala isokare kongi benza chala isokaze donde isare sacha pensi dagi chara nga de nor shas denge nga no mes nga la chala itala chala isene trangil papa dang de kala pals papa dawa nga ji pasun go yuares 제가 전에 사페 가다 송아 생에된 데비 카르다 토메데 소레면도 미파 소레도 공부를 레사네가 로디카라 미파 소레스.
So just let me tell you a story in this connection. During the time of the great Sakya Pandita, there was a Mahasiddha known by the name of Tuktuk Tarcharwa. He was a great practitioner of Vajakilaya, and then he used to do the incantation of Vajakila mantra rather incorrectly. He has been doing that, and he would recite Vajakilaya Swaha, whereas the correct one should be Vajakili so not Kili. So Sakya Pandita, noting this, Sakya Pandita tried to correct him, and then he then responded saying that, well, I am Vajakili in the past also. Now also I would like to recite Kili that way. However, and that way, saying this, he even demonstrated his own actualization, even though the mantras that he was reciting was not exactly correct that way, but then the efficacy of his incantation, even in that way, was demonstrated by hitting his pedge, the Bajra patch, into the wall, and it stuck in there as if one would stuck the Bajra patch into a lump of what we call samba or pak, and lump of chop. So then Sakya Pandita was really convinced that in Mantrayana, it's not so much the importance is not so much whether whether a practitioner recites the mantra authentically or purely, but the emphasis is definitely, the more importance is definitely whether one is able to maintain the faith and conviction correctly or not. And so therefore he was convinced himself that maintaining pure faith and commitment was more important than reciting the mantra. No.
Roma Chivasane Mashuis, Roma Chivares, the pine
Ten.
Roma Chivasane Mashi, Roma Chova Tembala, Sawa Nolola Shansa, Rat, Gawa Jebe, Ujegich and Chiva Pema, Japa Raji, Titarai, Didunjite on the Zemas, or the Roma Nijitachi Norone, Chovat, Roma Chuvata and San Caraso Yoresena, Didunjite on the Domas, and the Yama Bivechena, Roma Yanges Hemas in it is. Then Tela Shansa de Candidata Yoresena, Shansa Los, Roma Cola Shansa Vesena, Didunjite on the double drama, Yona, Yangesemi drama Shansa is. Chena, Roma Terra, Chichi the drama, Senacari Yoresena, Roma Tige. Ravano Jirawa using the contour here by its and Tigi Gone Coratu, Gombege, Nombega Tola, Garega Nomba Demba the Chiche, Yabate Intene Jen Pache Matabi Short Tanja Sanj Nembala Tene, and Soso Gichabe Zigi Mbawege, Rambochege, Ujisoya Pato Niche, Aganaji Shato Shala, Rambochege Chiwege, Janchatu and Kiki, Drama Chires, Drama Tigi Shene. Totare Sengege, nga ge dra chenpo de dra bala tene nga tenren den bala tene tene yen zhong xie la so be du ane nye mo pa yin re chada yin re pingbu di yin re ane di da ji ten tham che de zero na ji ge so shu ge ong go le chen den ne ke ge drama che re o ten ra ge drama ta la chang sa lo shu yo re is
Yes. Now let us move to the 10th Tara. Let me recite the text of the 10th Tara in the 21 praises. Homage to you, Tara, whose radiant crown ornament, joyful and magnificent, extends a garland of light, and who, by your laughter of Tutara, conquers the demons and all the worlds. Now, this is 10th Tara. Her name is that is one who subdues all the demonic forces and the world, all the cosmos. Or she's also known by the name, as per Acharya Surya Gupta Nyangeselma, that is one who pacifies sufferings and pains of pacify, the great pacifier of the sufferings. So now, homage to such a Tara, the 10th Tara, whose name is who is known by those names. And if one wonders what could be her features, specific features or unique features are that she is the one who is able to fulfill the wishes of all the devotees or migrators as per their wishes, and due to which she is always very pleased, and she therefore exudes a joyful feature. Always you'll see a joyful feature on a joyful feature that she maintains, just because she is able to fulfill their wishes as per their request. Secondly, she is also very magnificently, she presents herself in a very magnificent posture, being adorned with jewel crown on the top of her head, symbolizing that she has the ability to subdue or bring into control all the demonic as well as the negative forces under her control, and thus exudes light, tremendous light from the crown jewel ornament. And third, with her hands and feet, her hands and feet are all adorned with jewel ornaments. Now, if we ask what kind of other features she has, she has a laughter. She exudes a laughter and mirth of reciting or shouting out Tutare loudly from her face, and because of that thunderous sound from that mantra Tutare, she is able to capture and conquer all the maras and the demonic forces within this in this world, and they are therefore without control or automatically brought under her own sway of control, by which they are almost made. They're made like a servant. They become subservient. They become subservient to her and to her power in this way. In this way, she's able to thus bring into control the demon of affliction, demon of the Lord of Death, demon of the aggregates, and demon of the son of God, and so on. No.
Tene Roman digi shene la tene tutare sene soyati leja kere. Te peke tu jisana pamo senge chat. Pamo seya de roho yeba. Suchi la matake, suchi la ina kate chatenge. Nzi tenge tende gila pamo se. Den zi kya seya de zamli moche tombo jaya doma chi nyepa jaya nzi kya ti tenda te mare. Kongin zi sadon ra ma sono kate chato de sar chato tu sena 디든지대 탐체 온데 토레세 디든지대 탐체세야 돼 소레세나 니모페디 쳐다베디 테네 핀비디 테네 케피디 계속 기술이 디 계속 강가 공기 온도 토위에 봐 있는데 온도 토위에 봐 있잖아 안에 로마기 밀어야 로마니마 파모세라 파모세야 돼 그런 신이라 파모세야 나한테 동굴 파모세야 나한테 레자케 또 다르게 생겼대 제사 나한테 고아티 시베 되네 대지라야 되나 로마테 그도 간듯이 요래세나 근도 마보레스 근데 차기 찬세대 개체벌에 단계 시와 나지 찬세대 간듯이네 나요래세나 근추 선세계 사제가 놀어라 매도 오빠라 크야바데 드라마 파쳐 제바레 근데 라바 야바테 가르쳐 초조기 사제가 놀어라 엄마지 커요 엄마티기 레카 드라마서 가르쳐 오래세나 로와 놀라타 문지 빙추 응이드 정기 요래스
Dollars. Now she, as I explained earlier, she utters with the laughter and the myth of Tutare, the mantra Tatara. She in fact, she shouts out this Tutare mantra. Let me explain you the meaning of Tutare. This is a Sanskrit word, definitely. So this the meaning of this means the heroine. Pamo, the heroine. The heroine here in the sense she's so courageous, she is fearless, and she can challenge any opponent forces, and she's fearless in that way. And the fearless in the she can challenge or defeat any negative forces. Here, the defeat in the sense should not be understood in the sense of war, like the World War I or World War II, where we combat the parties combat, and then there is this. Then there is the defeat or the word defeat being used, but it's not in that context. Here, when we talk about she challenges those and she's able to defeat them, means she's able to defeat the demonic forces of the delusion, demonic forces of the Lord of Death, demonic forces of the aggregates, demonic forces of the son of the God, and all other fears, and in throughout the world. And thereby she is able to subdue them and bring them under her sway of power, and make them make the summit in this way. So that is to be the context that is to be understood when we talk about fearless here, and then it also also means swift. And that the swift, that therefore together it makes the swift and the heroic. The swift and the heroic. So Pamo, the heroic, is something that is entailed by the meaning of this word Tutare, and this is something that she utters regularly. She utters all the time. She utters herself. That means she claims. She makes claims. She makes this claim herself that she is the heroine. So this being the meaning of it. Now next is, if someone were to ask question, what kind of physical features she has. She's red in color, slightly graceful, with a right hand. Right hand performing this gesture of granting the supremacy, and then holding a vase which is red, and that vase is called vase that represents removal of all the obstacles, or crushing all the obstacles or hindrances. In her left hand, as explained earlier, is more or less same. She's holding a Utpala flower, and whose stem, the stem of which is pressed between the thumb and the ring finger in our left hand. And what does that really? And then what does the gesture actually represents? The gesture, especially of the right one, of restoring right hand, performing the gesture, offering to the three jewels, actually represents crushing or destroying all the obstacles, and thus overcome the fear and gaining the state, having gained the state of fearlessness, and then is then able to grant that city of fearlessness to her devotees. Long.
这些，跟那两把船里打的，罗马机器把修为，跟那罗马机器把了，两把了，早晚拿了上车，啥子修为错呢？堂前古把你嘛，托你有为也给红给，红把堂前那把罗马是，电大开了那个我的身了上车路。当然上车为什么罗马年纪早几个诺了呢？罗马碰把什么了上车的意思的，变成的你看个罗马碰把这些三年几百人，罗马碰把这些了上车的，现在罗马碰把这些生意的看得起有的人现在，现在手机的差距准备，熊就我同学，刚说记者说的，但是刚刚搞个刚刚弄下吧，伊那也刚刚弄出去，但是刚刚温度对比个，等你把它季节，你把它现在啦，吹个那把对比，炒米个跟西北个，就搞啦，烘一起有了，烘一点的也是提供的搞啦，老外汤切个碰杯对岸汤切的那把着个有的嘞，老外汤切个碰杯对岸先啦，别那切个碰把对上了，切里包着呀，那个碰把对上了，那没把着呀，边角碰把对上了。那龙血这样拉手呗，老了，没得别个碰别个，另外开始呢，但是汤起来那么着啊，新的个，开始过来，罗马起来是，现在这个罗马掉了，相差个意思。
Now the 11th Thara, as per the 21 praises of Thara, runs like this. The stanza runs like this: homage to you, Thara, who are able to invoke the entire assembly of local protectors, whose wrathful expression fiercely shakes, rescuing the impoverished through the letter of whom. So the name of this 11th Thara is Phongwa, the Thara who is able to eliminate the impoverishment. She is also known by the name who is able to eliminate all impoverishments, whatever you may call it, both the Panditas, Pandita Atisha and the Surya Gupta, both of them actually names are the same way. Now, to explain this stanza, homage, I pay homage to you, the Thara who redresses the suffering of impoverishment in three ways. Number one, all the divinities residing throughout the 10 directions. She captures them in such a way that she seduces them, or she allures them in such a way that she gains the authority, and as if she has the authority to command them in whatever way she wants and make them perform the services that she would like for the benefit of others. So in this way, she has the ability to grant the boon or the virtuous activities to her devotees, and then she's always ready to do that by virtue of, you can say, summoning or alluring the 10 directional deities as such. And then secondly, if everyone wonders what about her, her physical features, she has a slightly wrathful appearances. In her heart there is a Hung syllable, and from that Hung syllable radiates rays of light, and that radiation or rays of light strikes all sentient beings and has the ability to thus remove them from all sorts of impoverishment and sufferings of the impoverishment. Here, impoverishment should not be referred to only in one context, but impoverishment in the sense, for example, those who are bereft of longevity, she has the power to and ability to grant them longevity, long life. Those who are impoverished by health, good health, or so they are running through bad health conditions, and she has the ability to remove their sicknesses and ailments. Those who are bereft of material wealth and possessions, she has the ability to grant them the material possession and enrich them. In this way, she allures and the entire assembly of the directional deities, and thus has the ability to grant these boons. Now,
되는 데라 상사 사지 중바 세야기 사지 중바 생인데 이래 이딩 칸 첨번 데라 이 사지 첨번 데라 다숑 칭에 카게 요래 되네 데노로 베나 이쇼네 다숑 칭에 상바치 오쇼네 다숑 칭에 사이 하모체 자가나시게 사쇼를 자셔 소쇼를 시제 너쇼를 쳐가 쇼쇼라 네저 되네 샬로라 메가 안에 호노라 선보 안에 너쇼라 류라 쇼쇼라 왕데선에 쇼쇼 첨부 띠요래 쇼쇼 첨부 찌때 안에 예스도메게 간지 진다기 요복 강원노와 나시도 파메고 복 강원노와 나시 가와이나 가왕하나 초초기 니바세 고이나라 왕차세 고이나라 예야 바이 자네 안에 사지 쇼베처럼 파점군바 니마세고 데리카서 가서 잠블레 자카 니자 선지지 지시에야 요래 데서 강가 까게 또 등이 미친지 된들요 말이나야 제스 점에 까게 또야 돼 미인지 된 같이 보 많이 봤다 슈 저기 사지 첨번데라 캔키 양스 줘발다 까게 또 해야지 니바 요래서
when we talk about these 10 directional protectors, we must understand that this great expanse of the cosmos or the world has 10 directions, and there are, you can say, some sort of someone who protects or who has influence over these directions. There are 10 kind of deities. These are in the center is the Brahma, beneath is the Lord of the earth, Sailamo, the goddess of the earth, and to the east is the Indra, to the south is the Yamari, to the west is the water god, and to the north is the Yaksha, Yamari or Yaksha, and then to the southeast is the fire gods, and to the north, to the southwest is the demons, and to the north to the northwest are the Varunas, the wind gods and goddesses, and then to the northeast are the Wanglas. This is another form of god whose name I do not have in Sanskrit. So these are the 10 directional 10 directional divinities or divine figures who protects the 10 directions. They are said to have this. It is these that goddess Tara allures this entire assembly of protectors in throughout the 10 directions in such a way that they come under her sway of authority and power, and thus she has the authority as if she can command them and put them to the service the way she likes. So, for example, for example, the powerful parents, the parents who are able to control their kids and into discipline, and then there are those powerful lords who are able to capture the subjects and so on. So in this way, she's able to take them under sway of her power and allure them and direct them to act the way she wants, and bring the boons of the virtuous activities of her to the sentient beings as they like. So let me just give you another example. For example, in today's world, where we have more than 200 or 230 or 40 countries, nations all over the world, but there isn't one person who is so powerful that has the authority to command all of them. But however, unlike them, however, it is only Tara, the only Severus, or the only feminine Buddha who has the power and authority to direct everyone, directed all these powerful protectors in throughout the 10 directions, and bring them under her command, and thus bestow the activities, virtuous activities she grants. Now,
drama ke chale drama sama zo karresena roano ui dungale shabate kongi shaban zabade kongi shole zo teres ana drama de kanro kare chiyo resena sebore tene chagi chaja chaya de kensho son sembe shoje norola medo opala koba de shoye pe norola ana bomba seboje nambati shoje shoje norola bomba seboje nambati ui dungale shabate yores.
okay. So now, if one were to wonder, if one wonders what kind of appearances she exudes or she has, she is yellow in color. She's yellowish. She's yellowish in. So let me see. She's yellowish in color. In her right hand. Her right hand performs this gesture of granting supreme siddhi, and then she does holds a yellow vase, which signifies she has the ability to free others from all kinds of impoverishment. But the left hand, in the left hand, the left hand in the performs this gesture of making offerings to the three jewels, and three jewels, thus holding the lotus flower, blue lotus flower in our hand, and the stem of which is pressed between the thumb and the ring finger. So this being her gesture and so on. In a succinct, if you ask what actually is her ability or her boon that she can bestow, is she has the ability to redress or remove all kinds of impoverishment in this world and for her duties, for our devotees. Now,
Roma Kini Bade Shogi, Roma Kini Bade, Zawa Norola Shansa Davi, Tembo Jes, Japa Tajan, the Bamas, Rapid Chena, Gabo Mele, Papa Shendagera, and Zemas, or the Attenda Karala Versana, Shansa Los, Kala Shansa Vesana, Drama Nishitachi, Nolone, then Drama Tanche Jamala Shansa is, there's the Niki Jibare. Tanche Jamala Shansa is, Jana Drama Tanche Jamasing, the country the Yola Resena, then David Tumbo Dawa Tumbazo Jonjo, Dawa Shekagi, Ngola, Jensha Nane, Jensha Dawe Tige, Geze the show Chelaradam Bading drama chires, Nibate, Ane, we Rabig in Oloya, Soje Yapome. The rich Davids and the Juba Tele did the number and the Geze Padama Bantone, David Dumana Seva Shankiki, drama chires.
yes. Now let's deal with the 12th Thara. As per the 21 praises to Thara, the text goes like this: Homage to you, Thara, whose crown is adorned with the crescent moon, wearing ornaments exceedingly bright. From your hair, not the Buddha Amitabha, radiates it eternally with great beam of light. Now, the name of the 12th Thara is called Tamje Chima, the bestowal of everything, the bestowal of all auspiciousness. So to her, this is the common name used by both the authors, and to her I pay my homage to this Thara. Now, and having paid it, why homage is being paid, and then having paid homage, what if one wonders what are her features? Number one, in her matted hair on top, she's adorned with a crescent moon, which is in Tibetan half moon, and from that moon, rays of light radiates. That too rather very brightly, exceedingly bright rays of light are radiated from that crescent moon on top of her matted hair. And secondly, from that pile of hair, she's adorned with she's also adorned with Buddha Amitabha, the what you call the Ritakta, Lord of the Buddha type and Buddha types, and then from that Amitabha Buddha also radiates lights towards 10 directions. And what does that do is the 10 directions from the light radiated to the 10 directions this has the ability to remove or to redress the sufferings of all sentient beings. So
drama the country Yorasena, only challenge the drama, Sena Trocho, the Tashiba Tamchin, Jitela Chingitire, Kundu Chena, Maseria, then Shaya Ben Chuju, Shajagan Orola, then the Tashibi, Jimbe Pamba Cabo Chinoyori, and that drama Shembeda number to Paris.
okay. Now, if one wonders what kind of virtuous activity or the boon she grants, is she grants the boon of actualizing all auspiciousness for all sentient beings. About her physical feature, she is reddish yellow. She's reddish yellow, perhaps orange yellow, and then in her right hand, her right hand performs this gesture of granting or bestowing the supreme siddhi, in which in that hand she holds a vase called the auspicious vase, which is white in color, and as far as her left hand gesture and all this is concerned, it is similar to the ones that have been explained with other taras previously. Now. No.
Then Sawa Nola Shanta Kabe Tami Meta, Bayo TV na Nema, Yechon Yekukuni Koga, Dai Pin and Namban Jamas, and a Pig Tenda Karalaga Yoras and a Chancelos, Chana Drama Sola Chancellor, Sena, Drama Yichitachi Nolone, Drama Chisamba, Memba Mala Chansagis, then the Nima Beba Chena, Drama Mala Chansagis.
Yes.
Me Toto Mundawa Tomato, Javare. Chena drama the country Chivola Kaban Jibege Kage and Meche Nasi, Hachagi Mechambomba de Vina, you catch it. You don't take condition with you as an Asha, Ye Chanchi, Ye could be a touch, you get it. Then the Ju Baratene, Karanongo Yoresana, Montabig show get dra, Montu show big dress and a carrier, and a she dra. And the Carsagore, Yamobi Dianare, Chadag Dianare, the Pumbi Dianare, Tagamazing the Shock Dianare, Shadong Dianare, Tomi Dianare, the so touched number Jamba Shagoler, or the Chingi Drama Terra, Shansagi is, or there's some of the cheese.
Next is the 13th Tara. In the praises of the 21 Taras, the stanza goes like this. Homage to you, Tara, who dwell within a blazing garland that resembles the fire at the end of this world age. Surrounded by joy, you sit with your right leg extended and left withdrawn, completely destroying all the masses of enemies. Now, that means her name is, to remember, that is the blazing Tara, or she's also known by the name that the flame emitting Tara, whatever name you call it, is same, it's the same thing, as it refers to the same Tara. So now, to explain the stanza, homage to you, the blazing Tara, and Tara, whose features are like this. If one wonders what are her features, she is seen surrounded by an extremely voluptuous, violently burning halo of fire, which is like the fire fire at the end of the eon, at the end of the kalpa. She sits in the midst of that halo of the extremely blazing fire, and her postures is such that she has her right leg stretched and left leg withdrawn. And what kind of activities, various activities that she grants or she postures, if one wonders. She actually crushes or destroys all the host of enemies that are on the harming side, that are on the harm's way, that are in the negative side. This also includes, as I explained earlier, the demons of delusion, demons of the death, the demons of the Lord of love or the desire, demons of the aggregates, and also demons also such as desire, attachment, hatred, anger, close-mindedness or ignorance, and so on and so forth. All these are to be known as included in what we call this, the host of enemies of the negativities, or enemies in the harm's way. Now, yes.
Number 40. Drama Kijipata Shuyongi, then Zawa Nara, Shansa, Sajin Nila Shaki, Tujin, Nishaji Duma, Tony Kenze Yukin Honki, Zamba Dumbana Nangemas, Adi Danda Karala Resena, Shansa Los, Pala Shansagi Sena, Drama Nijizachi Norola, Drama Tony Jera Shansagi, Jena Drama Tony Jissing the Kaja, Kandiji Yoresena, Drama Tony Jissing the Cha Yepegi Tulas. Shot Yeping Tissan, the Shot Yeping Tin the Chinella, and Sazi Chamber de Man Nature, Pombe Sazi Chamber de Ma Done, Dovanza Kitire, and Sherry, Torrig and Nambache, Pack dropping numbers in K. Shot Yepegi Tila, and Huiki Hongi, Igiti or D. Gezeki, and Jite Dumbo Sena. And draw retreat chasso. Jite Dumbo Yonzu, Wallman, Nene, Zitru, draw Sinchi Tonche, Pache Tonche, Sawa Chemigi, Drama Chile, or Dendra Drama Tella Chansa is.
Now, because we are running out of time, I need to cut short a little bit. So let's move to the 14th Tara. As per the text, homage to you, Tara, with hands on the ground by your side, pressing your heel and stamping your foot on the earth with a wrathful glance from your eyes. You subdue all 7 levels through the syllables hum, through the syllable hum. So her name is the wrathful Tara. Wrathful Tara. So homage to this wrathful Tara. What are his features, if one wonders? With her left hand, she performs the gesture of threatening gesture, while at the same time with her feet she stamps upon the earth. That is her left hand's gesture, while her right hand in her right hand performing the same gesture as earlier, but it is a hung in the palm of her right hand, and then from that hung radiates rays of light. And what kind of activities she does is she's able to pacify, or in other words rip asunder all the obstacles that are prevalent throughout these 7 levels of world. Now, as to the 7 levels of world, we can include those 6 realms of existence, form and formless, and so on. And these are the 7 realms of world. So this is her activity, and such is the features of this 14th Tara. Long.
Drama Tigi, Chalet and Drama Senator Carrera Sena. Again on Jamba singing Chengi Yore, Kando Chena, Napore, Namba Chena, Tovig Nambare, and Shaw Yebe Noro, Shoja Shoja Norola, Din on Jamba Shebe, Tombachin how yours.
knows. Now, if you ask what kind of activities she performs the activities of actually removing all the obstacles throughout the 7 levels of the world. If we are to talk about her hand gestures in her in her right hand, she holds a vase. She holds a Pumbat Chayevna, yeah, she holds a vase that represents removing all the obstacles within the world. In her left hand is in this gesture performing the threatening gesture. Now,
tene Trishia Doma Kodeshi Sai, Tene Gonse Shuela, Tamakashiji de Orandoso, Te Gonse Shui, Tene as de Nambasugi, Iji der Toria, Domegi Lojuda, Domegi der Karen, Sositono Chinelona, Terege, Flotin Degi June, is a Kodeva, Shideva Chagarella, Tato Yenge Sugia, and Sosugi P, Shingi de Sogi P, the Ramdalway, the Soto Tene.
yes. So first of that concludes my today's teaching. So I would like to seek for your forgiveness for taking a few minutes more than the scheduled time. I just have one recommendation. Those of you who read, who are reading Tara text concerning Tara rituals and Tara puja and so on, be they history of Tara, original Tara, or you are making paying attention to read, paying some attention in reading and studying Tara, about Taras and rituals and so on. If you were to read them earlier, or if you were to come prepared, I think whatever I talk here would help you understand better, and especially those who are listening to me over online, and amongst you, if there are any who could read Tibetan, I would recommend that if you were to read Tibetan texts related to Tara teachings and Tara cycles of teachings and practice and so on, it would be way more convenient for you to understand what I am teaching here during this scheduled time. Thank you.
Hoyin Jambe Baye, Jeda Chemba, Da Kondo Zombo, Teyang Teju, Teda Kunju Jisu, Da Gyawan Da Da Jera Do Ngoi, Tiso Shebe, Jawa Tanju, Ngowa Kolan Chuda Ngo, Dagi Giwe Zawan Do Gyojo, Sombo Sheshi Rada Ngowa, Joi Jisu Lame Kochera Deje, Nagan Chole Shujo Jip, Uzo Tembe Deme Sasu Jen, Doye Mase Tada Nejo, Ai Dagi Chera Ngene, Jabela, Tiso Sanje Kunja, Mojo Shaji Shani, Yeshema, Yinje Humbanam, Tashi Shu, Ishewa Kunda, Yanda Lama, Tantame, Chichi Pelalo, Sadalam Ji Yende Razone, Dojin, Gombo Nyando, Ishu, Imishu Senje Javi Chela, Tenje Lawamen. Dagi Lhasa Tambien Tando, Jembe Dego de la Nyando Ishu.